The Register building in Santa Ana to talk to Orange County Register columnist for OC Outdoors, David Whiting, who, when you go to the beach and you do things, you don't just sit around and watch, David. Now, talk about this. How'd it go with that 10th annual Pacific Triathlon?
Oh, it was a fabulous event on Sunday. Over 1,300 people signed up for it. Just about everybody showed up for it, and nearly 1,000 people completed the sprint distance triathlon, which means that everyone swam a half a mile in the ocean. And boy, it was really cold that day. It was 57 degrees, Oof. Believe it or not, which is about the kind of temperatures we get in February.
Yeah.
Oh. They biked 12 miles up and down the hills along Pacific Coast Highway, and if you've driven that area, those hills may seem pretty gentle, but when you're riding a bike, they're pretty unforgiving. And then they ran 3 miles, and 3 miles, part of that was in the sand on the beach, which in the movies, it looks like you're running along the beach and your hair is flowing in slow motion and everything else, but running in sand is really hard, and then running back up the pass on those cliffs is really hard. So these people, everyone who participated, to me, is just an amazing athlete.
Yeah. Well, who is this woman who impressed you so much?
Oh, she is Suzanne Oman of Mission Viejo, 39-year-old mother of 3. And she's a terrific lady. She's in a group called Athenas, and the Athenas and Clydesdales are larger athletes who I think a lot of people, they deserve more respect and a little bit louder applause than the lighter athletes, because they're usually out there a bit longer, and it's a hard slog out there. And she's an amazing person. She did a couple of triathlons a number of years ago. She had a little bout of depression, and she's very public about that. And she says, you know, exercise and medication therapy is a great combination for beating these things. And here is a fellow who's crossing the finish line. That time that you see up there is the beginning time. This is a wave triathlon, and that means that he started out a little bit earlier. But triathlon, as you can see here, is a lot about very meticulous planning. You've got to run, you've got to bike, you've got to swim, and you've got to transition from each one of those very quickly. So people are really careful about the way they lay out everything. So this is a great thing, and it's really it's a sport for people of all sizes and all ages.
Well, why is this particular one so tough?
This one is one of the 10 toughest sprint distance triathlons, they say, in the world. Now, I haven't done very many sprint triathlons. I've done a couple of others. But this one, it's because it's one of the few ocean swims. Triathlons started out in the ocean, but partly for safety reasons, they moved onto lakes and rivers. There's always an open water swim. They require that. But this one, it's in a nice, real safe cove in an area, so we've got a good record here in Orange County of safety, but we still use the ocean. It's not easy, though. You're still dealing with waves and swells. And then, of course, we have these runs up and down these cliffs, and then we have the hills. So that's why it's so tough, but boy, it's awfully beautiful out there.
Now, what happens next year? Is there going to be another LA Orange County duel?
That's a very good question. This was the first time that Los Angeles Triathlon and our Pacific Coast Triathlon here in Orange County started on the same day. And I was a little worried. I thought, wow, you know, maybe LA will steal our thunder. Orange County's triathlon sold out. Every single seat was filled, so it was a great thing. Next year, who knows? I don't know what the LA Triathlon means, but definitely Orange County's triathlon, the Pacific Coast Triathlon, is here to stay, and it's going to be a popular event, probably more so next year than it was even this year.
In your particular case, you don't believe in just, I'm very serious, you get so involved in this. How many of these things do you do?
I've done a couple of Ironman distance triathlons. I've done a couple of half Ironmans. I've done a couple of Olympics. I've done just one. This was my first sprint, so I've done, I guess, almost 10 of these things, and each one is different, and each one is really special. It's a great way to start the day. And the neat thing about this one last Sunday, I got home before my family was even up.
Oh, that's good. Dave, thank you so much. Always nice talking to you. Talk to you next week.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, David.